The next update is coming to Brawl Stars, and we have a lot to cover. There are 2 new Brawlers with 2 other Brawlers getting reworks, 9 new Hypercharges that are absolutely wild, 3 new game modes, and we got the new Trophy Road, a new features called Records, an Angels vs. Demons mini event, and even though Brawl Stars didn't tell us about them, I found some balance changes in there as well. Let's start off with the 2 new Brawlers, Ollie and Trunk. Ollie is a mythic assassin and the last member of the Swamp of Love trio along with Willow and Angelo. Now the easiest way to think of her and her mechanics are if Mortis, Miko, and Leon had a love child, that'd be Ollie. Okay, so that was weird, but you know what? I'm not sorry. She has 8,200 hit points at max level, so she's pretty tanky. However, her range is very short. But to make up for that, she has an enrage function where if she's in the vicinity of a brawler with low health, she becomes enraged, moves much faster, letting you close the gap and finish them off. Now, her main attack, called Swamp Swipe, can actually be one of 2 styles. If she's in the grass or water, she will leap for her attacks, similar to Miko, but with a faster reload speed. However, if she's on normal ground, she has a dashing swipe similar to Mortis, but not as long. And while they didn't say this, I did notice that when she's in the bushes or water, her ammo bar was yellow, while on open ground it was orange. So you'll have a visual indicator to which attack is going to happen if you don't feel like aiming. Now for her super, she goes invisible like Leon. However, it also makes it so her main attack will do more damage the more health her target has. Now they didn't mention her star power or her gadgets, but I will be sure to let you know what they are and what they do when I test her out in upcoming sneak peeks, so be sure to subscribe for that. Overall, I think Ollie looks really fun to play, and I bet she's going to be pretty dang good too. Now for the next new brawler, we have an epic tank called Trunk. Now he is the last member of the Enchanted Forest trio with Cordelius and Lily. Now Trunk is a tree that is apparently controlled by a swarm of ants that's out for revenge, because I mean, why not? It is Star Park after all, and being logical, it's just optional. Now at max level, Trunk has 10,000 hit points, so tanky for sure, but like not on Frank level. Now if we wanted to simplify Trunk's mechanics and make another cursed baby, if you combine Jackie, Piper, and Barry, well then you got Trunk. Trunk's main attack deals damage in a circle around him, similar to Jackie, and I imagine that it'll probably deal damage through walls as well. The damage that he deals increases the further you are away from him, similar to Piper's shot mechanic. However, you'll notice that there is a slightly different ring on the very outside of his attack, where if you get hit by that portion, you'll get a critical strike and you'll deal a whopping 3,640 damage per shot. Additionally, for each shot, he leaves a pile of ants on the ground that stay there for a while. It kind of just looks like dirt, but I mean, I guess there's ants in there. Now these ants will increase Trunk's movement speed as well as his attack speed. Now they also mentioned that one of his star powers will reduce the attack damage of an enemy brawler if they are standing on the ants in that area of effect. For his super, Trunk will dash similar to Barry, but instead of leaving ice cream on the ground, he leaves ants, which again boosts his speed and attack, but also being hit by this super will deal lots of very small rapid fire hits. They don't deal much damage, but it adds up. Now for only being an epic brawler, Trunk looks pretty versatile even with his reduced range. He has really strong damage, and with his special ant trait, his movement speed will help him get around faster. I expect him to be very good, but once again, we'll test him 1v1 versus every brawler in the game in some sneak peeks real soon. Next up, let's talk about the brand new Hyperchargers, because some of these look absolutely wild. There are 9 in total, but they will be split up into 2 different batches. Now, they didn't mention which ones are coming first, but here is what they are. Lumi is getting one called Drum Solo. With this Hypercharge super, it'll add an extra blast on both sides of her last circle, as if it wasn't already deadly enough. This one's actually pretty wild. However, Doug's is just kind of bizarre. When you use his Hypercharge super on another player, that player will mirror your attack. So they could be off doing their thing, still dealing their damage, but when you attack, your attack also shows up on them, which is pretty wild. I guess it'll heal as well, so you'll do healing and damage while they're doing damage in the instance they showed with Edgar. It's really wild. I don't know how this one's going to pan out, but I can see it being very strong and pretty cool, big game-changing moment. Now, Kits looks really neat because when you use your Hypercharge Super on an enemy, it will stun them, but you don't stay attached to them. Instead, you can move around and attack like normal, which is basically a free kill. But if you use that Hypercharge on a teammate, you will heal them for more, and your thrown attacks will have a much longer range. Chuck's is interesting because when you use his Hypercharge, his next super will have unlimited range. No matter how far you are from your post, you will still connect to them and go a longer path. And in addition to that, it will also blow out steam while it's in his super. The steam itself looks pretty weak, dealing only a couple hundred damage per steam puff, but still, it's kind of neat. Now, if you want pure chaos and damage, well, RT is your Hypercharge because when activated, this Hypercharge will launch security lasers that rotate from both him and his legs at the same time. And while each laser only deals like 700 damage, you are absolutely bound to get hit by multiple ones and take insane damage. And on top of that, they go through walls, so there is no hiding from him. This one looks crazy strong. Now, Shades is called the Frightener, and what it does is it makes his standard attack deal maximum damage no matter if you actually land the shot in the center of his aiming marks or not. So, like, you catch some teams bunched up, yeah, it's over for him and real quick. Now for Mo, it's basically his sushi power that we just saw in game. His driller will have a longer range and move very fast underground, and then when he comes up in his driller form, he will stay in that form for much longer if you want him to. Draco's is called Fire and Flames, and the name is pretty spot on, as for this Hypercharge, it will unleash his super attack, but with a massive range, more flames, and just more destruction. Draco was already almost impossible to escape in his super, and now he's going to be cooking with this one for sure. For Bonnie, she will stun enemies both when she fires out of her cannon and when she lands. Also, she'll fire out like 4 little teeth, but that's kind of like a side effect. And while Doug may have a strange Hypercharge, both he and Bull are getting pretty big reworks to their mechanics. Now, Doug is getting 3 major changes, and all of these seem to focus around getting people to play Doug as a true support brawler, not just a mediocre tank. First off, his super will now charge when he heals someone, where before it only charged when he dealt damage. This brings him into line with other healers like Barry, who charge their super while healing. Secondly, since people almost never use their super on your teammates, they have given it an extreme homing towards friendly targets. And from the clip we saw, it's almost like Gene's pulled during the sushi event. So basically, as long as you aim your super just like in the neighborhood of a teammate, you're gonna land it. And going right along with that super, if you use a super on a teammate and they end up dying and getting revived, you, as Doug, will also get healed back to full health with his newly revamped fast food star power. I think these changes are actually pretty interesting and very well might totally change how people play Doug, or they're just ignored and keep continuing to use their super on themselves. Who knows, but speaking of supers, Bull gets a big change to his. The distance of Bull's super can now be aimed. It will not always go to max length anymore. Additionally, if you hit an enemy while you're charging, it will stop the super and slow nearby enemies. This is basically what his Stomper gadget used to do, the one that everybody really used, and so, well, that's getting a rework as well. Instead of pressing Stomper to cancel a super, when you activate your gadget and then you use your next super, it will stun any enemy that you hit. Now, the 2 biggest new features coming to the game are the new Trophy Road as well as records. Now, I did cover the Trophy Road in depth in a previous video, so I'll only briefly talk about it here, but we did also get some new info on records. The Trophy Road is getting an overhaul both visually and rewards wise. It has a whole new look, and each section is tied to the lore of Star Park. Different sections on the Trophy Road will show the various locations in Star Park. Now, they're giving us a couple of these locations to begin with, but they did mention that they will be releasing more areas with each new update. However, you'll still be able to get the rewards of each of these sections, even if it hasn't opened up yet. You'll just, instead of seeing the area, it'll look like clouds along the Trophy Road. That is until it actually opens up and you'll be able to see the environment. One new thing that we did see is that the rare and the super rare brawlers that are being moved exclusively to the Trophy Road will be able to be chosen by players. Other than that, they're buffing the rewards on the Trophy Road and giving some new rewards that haven't been there before, like Hypercharge star drops. They're also removing each brawler's masteries and taking those rewards and putting them on the trophy road, as well as extending it out to 100,000 trophies. So if you've already reached the end of the current trophy road, well, you're going to now have more to do and more rewards to collect. Now, the new feature that's called Records that's replacing the mastery system looks pretty neat. It's basically like an achievement system. Simple stuff like collecting pins, sprays, and profiles, to standard things like winning games with a brawler, all the way to seriously hard ones like stunning 3 enemies at the same time with Frank in Heist, and then do that twice in one game. Now, I'm not sure if these records are going to count bot matches, but if they do, I can see that being the meta strategy to get some of these harder ones done. Now, this is also where you're going to unlock titles from after the update. And since the mastery system is going away, we saw right there that it says that it takes 300 wins with that brawler to get the title, which is actually less wins than it would normally take. However, not nearly as fast as if you were to push the mastery titles right now with this insane mastery bonus happening. So you complete these records and earn points. The more points you earn, the more your record score will go up. When that record score reaches the end of the current rank, you'll move up in a records rank, similar to how Fame works. And also similar to Fame, you'll get special battle cards for leveling up your records rank that you can choose to display. They're going to start with 10 ranks for records at launch, but I imagine they will expand upon this in the future as they add new records for more brawlers and various things. So they showed us a lot about records, but they didn't mention everything, just like they showed us but didn't mention the balance changes that I found. Starting us off, it looks like Jackie is getting an HP nerf from 10,000 that it's currently in game down to 9,400. However, Crow is getting his hit points buffed, going from 4,800 up to 5,600. Kaze is also getting a health buff from 7,600 up to 8,000. However, Rosa is getting a main attack damage buff. Currently in game, it's 920 per punch, but when she was punching Shrunk, it dealt 1,000 damage per punch. Fang is getting an increase to his super damage from 2,400 currently in game up to 3,000 damage, which is pretty substantial. Now, I'm sure there's probably more, but those were the ones that I was able to spot in Brawl Talk. Now, there are 3 new game modes as well, but 2 of them are like takes on existing modes, but one of them is all brand new. The new one is Dodge Brawl. The goal is to naturally dodge enemy shots and in turn hit them with balls. And from what it looks like, normal shots cannot kill another brawler. Instead, you see Meeple hit Willow, which that shot normally would have killed her. Instead, it stunned her for quite a while and it gave her full health. So I guess there's a window of opportunity where you would normally kill somebody and instead it just stuns them, and that gives you a chance to take them out with the ball, which is the only way to actually take somebody out. If you do take them out, well, then you get a point, and the first team to 10 points wins. All in all, it looks like a pretty fun mode, and I'll be excited to try it out. The next mode is a rework of Present Plunder, and it's called Night Fight. You get the trophy, you bring it back to your base, you win. However, you cannot throw the trophy like you would in Present Plunder. That being said, you'll be able to shoot, so you can grab the trophy and fight your way out. The third one is called Token Run, and it's basically the Uno event reskinned. However, unlike the Uno game, you cannot jump with these tokens, and they also made it so that the various tokens give effects, and they are in the same order and spawn for each team for fairness. Now, there's also a bunch of new skins coming into the update as well. For the first season, Hades Mortis will be the Brawl Pass skin of the season, and it looks really good. I mean, not that I'm any good with Mortis, but at least I can look cool dashing into a wall 3 times. If you buy the Brawl Pass Plus, using code LEX, you can get the 2 chroma versions of that skin, although I kind of like the standard one the best. Sandy is getting a Hypno Sandy skin, and it looks really good, especially like the super animation. Sandy always gets like really good skins. Then there's Pegasus Berry, who has a wild like green colored shot that I think I like, but the model I know I like because that looks really cool. Now, to balance out the evil skins, we're getting some heroes too. Icarus Bonnie, whose model looks really elegant, but also the super animation and shots are really good too. And then there is Sheepish Daryl. It's Daryl, but he's hiding in a sheep. And then finally for the first season is Persephone Lumini. It's cool, but not over the top. However, it is her first premium skin, and I do like it. The next season is the Knights of the Star Table. The Brawl Pass skin for this season is King Starther Bow. And of course, on the Brawl Pass Plus, you're going to have some chromas, and the King Archer Bow, that one looks really good, which is nice because the other skins look like this. There's Knight Amber, whose armor is dark and even fires out dark blue flames. And then we have Knight Doug, who actually might be my favorite. Not only does he look wicked, but these shot animations look so cool. There's Knight Jackie and Lily, who both have a similar look, but Lily looks cooler. And finally, for that season, there is a Supercell make skin, Knight Bell. In my opinion, one of the better looking Bell skins. Ivy Bell's kind of creepy. There's also going to be an all-new ranked skin with Dynamite. As you move up the Pro Pass, you'll get the upgrades to the skin and even some cool looking animations, chromas, and a pretty sweet animated battle card. There's a bunch of 29 gem skins, including 6 different color variations for Kit, so if you like Kit or cats, then I guess that's cool. Some of the other 29 gem skins include Buster, Tick, Griff, and Trunk, but the coolest one of these is Phantom Poco. You got style and it's cheap. What's not to like? There's also some other skins, but they're part of the Angels vs. Demon mini events that are coming. Each one of these mini events will last for 12 days, and there will be all new abilities to try out, and hopefully they're not just like the same as the old recycled old one. It did look like you could choose 3 abilities to go into a match at the same time, which could get pretty wild, but during this event, you're going to have a chance to get the very hard to get Edgar or Mortis Hypercharged skins out of the demonic or angelic star drops. Now, I'm sure that the chances are going to be very rare, but there is a chance. But if you don't get lucky with them, you're going to have a better chance of getting some of these other ones like Blessed Buster, Ascended 8-Bit, or Martyr Meg. Or if the demons are more your thing, you're going to have a chance to get Infernal Fang, Hellbull, or Grim Gus. And if you liked all of that info, you're going to love the sneak peeks that are coming starting tomorrow. So come back for all of the update information the second that Supercell lets me show you. Peace.